Hello there, welcome back to our channel, your destination for thought-provoking discussions and stories. Today's video features two independent and strong women that I'm sure most of you are familiar with or have come across their trending video. Chelsea Handler and Noah Tishby recently took to social media and shared their perspectives on the ongoing Israel-Palestine conflict. But before we jump into it, if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button and join our global community. So these two strong ladies recently shared some interesting views about the ongoing conflict, stating that there is a lot of misinformation and that what happened on October 7th was the worst thing for Israel. But progressives have been led to believe that any response by Israel should be dismissed. Now, I won't get much into this as I'm going to play their video right here. So do stick around as I'll be sharing some of the most trending reactions and you don't want to miss that. And get to hear out for yourselves what other people had to say about this. But before that, Chelsea Handler and Noah Tishby. As we jump into this video, let's get into it.
Hi, I'm Chelsea Handler and I'm here with my friend, best-selling author Noah Tishby, who the New York Times recently called a pro-Israel influencer, and some on social media call that...
Exactly. Thank you so much for sitting with me, Chelsea.
Of course, I'm just happy to finally know an influencer who isn't trying to sell me shapewear with the...
Yeah.
What are you selling?
The truth. I'm selling the truth because there is a lot of misinformation out there.
Right, before we go any further, I want to be clear that we are pro-Palestinian and anti-Hamas, and it is okay to question Israel's policies and still be pro-Israel.
Correct. So what happened on October 7th was the worst act against Jewish people since the... But progressives, especially on college campuses and on social media, have been led to believe that any response by Israel to this attack is unacceptable and to victim blame Israel for the entire situation to begin with.
Which I don't understand because progressives should love Israel.
Israel is a single consistent democracy and the only progressive country in the entire region. Do you like free speech?
I like it.
Being able to criticize your government?
I
do you
like that part,
Great.
yes.
You can do that in Israel.
And do you like gay weddings? You know, the fun kind without straight people? So does Israel.
And how about freedom of press? Freedom of religion?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Women's rights.
Yes, I love to ski. I would like to continue doing so.
You know what else is progressive? Free and fair elections.
Israel is our greatest defense in the Middle East for all of Western democracy and Western values. If Israel goes down, guess who they're coming for next?
All right, if you value being a progressive, just make sure that you stay informed.
And one of the best ways to stay informed on this subject is to follow Noah on Instagram at Noah Tishby.
Thank you.
Thank you, Noah.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. And Am Yisrael Chai.
What she said. I skipped Hebrew school that day.
Now, that was the video of Chelsea Handler and Noah Tishby, and I want you guys to tell me what you think before we get into the reactions. Do share your thoughts in the comments, and if you're finding this video interesting, do give us a like and please do share with your friends so that they too can become part of our global family. Now, as you can imagine, that video has sparked a lot of reactions on social media, and this is the part where you get to hear what other people think about this. And without wasting much of your time, let's get into the stitches, and do stick around after that as I will be giving you guys a breakdown so that you can get to understand what's at play here. Let's get into it.
You're pro-Palestinian. That's actually one of the most funniest things I've ever heard. Because if you were pro-Palestinian, you wouldn't have made that video. You sat there and started talking about misinformation when there are people being... Over 20,000 people have been... Close to 8,000 people missing under the rubble, meaning they're not going to count those numbers until they can prove that they're... The number of murder is almost 30,000 people. 50,000 people are injured. Over 1.9 million people are displaced. Now hunger and starvation, and you're still saying you're pro-Palestinian when you're talking about misinformation from October 7th. Why don't you talk about the actual numbers from October 7th? Did you know they recently changed the numbers to say that it was only 766 people that were on October 7th? You're condemning a whole group of people for the actions that 766 people. All life is important, but 766 people were on October 7th. Some of them by the Israeli government, because they're not going to release who Hamas and who was government. They refused to release those numbers, but you're still talking about October 7th. What about every single day since October 7th that Palestinians have been getting? You are such a hypocrite, and I hope...
So I don't know if I haven't been paying attention to Chelsea Handler, but excuse me? I'm completely shocked. I cannot believe this is Chelsea Handler. What in the world? Where have I been? You can go to Chelsea Handler's Instagram page and watch this full video. It's insane. It's full of lies, fairy tales, fallacies. But Chelsea Handler? Not this Chelsea. Not the Chelsea Handler that made a whole documentary on how white privilege impacts American culture. This Chelsea Handler, this is... What? Yo, we can't have anything. We can't have... The fact that Chelsea Handler has ruined Chelsea Handler for me, I'm at a loss for words. You guys have to watch that whole video because she sounds like a psychopath. And now I'm wondering if the breakup between her and Joe Coy had something to do with her views and her beliefs. She had said she's not going to change herself and her behavior for him. I'm wondering, girl, what were you over there talking about? What were you over there doing? As y'all know, Joe Coy is half Filipino, and he is really, really involved in his Filipino culture. What was said? Now my head is spinning. Well, you know, Chelsea Handler, we had a good run. We had a great run with her. Gonna miss her.
I just have to ask myself, at what point are they just going to stop lying? You talk about a democracy, but yet and still you don't ever talk about how the Palestinian people can never go out so far out into their own ocean to fish. You talk about Israel being just this beacon of hope and light, but you never talk about how, you know, you can go to Palestine and take somebody's house. You talk about Israel as if this is a light on the world. And you know how I see Israel? Let me tell you how I see Israel. I see Israel as a race. Everything you've ever wanted to do in the United States, segregation, no justice system, no answering, no nothing. And you can do that in Israel. You can do that to the Palestinian people. Because you can't come over here on a large scale like you've been doing to Palestinian people, because we will shut you down. And we make a lot of noise. And now the world is starting to make a lot of noise for the Palestinian people. And you know what? I owe the Palestinian people a so sorry. I, like so many others, gave up, pushed it to the side, thought we were never going to get anywhere. I should have never gave up. I should have kept pushing through. But now I'm pushing through. And a lot of people are like, Keisha, why are you pushing so hard for Palestinian people? And I'm telling you right now, watch this. Because what's going to happen is, it's a domino effect. Once the righteous way gets set back up with the Palestinian people, watch how everything else falls. Watch how the Congo falls. Watch how Sudan falls. Watch how all of the other things that we have ever been fighting for just fall. No, it's not the best democracy in the world. It's not a fair system. It's not some fairy tale for people, because it's really not. I've talked to a lot of people that are from Israel, and they don't talk about people as if it's some mecca for them. That's not the truth. I think we need to start telling the truth. Start telling the horrible things that you've done to the Palestinian people.
Welcome to another episode of You Might Be a Zion. If you want to come on TikTok and cancel yourselves with future generations by letting them know that you support the inhumane acts happening in the part of the world that we can't name, but you can because you have money.
Noah, Chelsea, I didn't know you're both pro-Palestine. Noah, especially you, because when renowned journalist Shireen was, you said that the backlash was anti-Semitic. You both have continuously made excuses for the state of Israel, put on a sticker of anti-Semitic anytime anyone's questioned you, and now you're writing pro-Palestine. How do I tell you this? Being pro-Palestine means you don't want their extermination.
This one, she's talking about democracy. And I'm like, she's saying, of course, there's only democracy in the Middle East. And I'm like, wow, that's what democracy looks like. It looks a little different than ours. Because I don't feel like the Palestinians don't see democracy going on. They see apartheid. And this is just, you can read this from the 2009 playbook and it's basically, we need to get Americans to be on our team. We need to see like, hey, you're part of us. We're just, we're the same people. We need to support each other, because as she says also, like, they're going to come for us if they get through Israel. And maybe they will, because we're supporting them. If we were like, that's your own fight, we're not part of that, they probably wouldn't care too much about us, except for the other things we do, right, in other places. But they'd be like, well, at least they're not supporting Israel. But because we were supporting them, we're going to now invite more dangerous situations into our country, because we're participating in this. Maybe not the people, but our government is. And so yeah, it just makes it more dangerous for us by supporting them. But yeah, so Chelsea, do better. And I definitely went to your comments section on your TikTok, which I'm sure will get deleted. It seems like a lot of my comments get deleted when I talk about stuff like that on your page and Noah's page.
I'm sure by now you've probably come across this heinous video of propaganda. Chelsea Handler is getting paid so much money to do. Not very shocking that she's doing propaganda for a very thing, because she is a after all. But I wanted to focus on the last part of this video, where her and this influencer discuss that Israel is the only place in the Middle East that is upholding Western civilization's values and morals and being progressive. They have freedom of speech, they have rights, and so that's why they should be there. This is insane for many reasons, but I wanted to focus on two. The first one is, if you ask any person living in Israel right now if they think their government is super progressive and freeing and amazing, even if they like their government or even if they like living there, that's not exactly the words that would characterize that government. There are many protests happening that may not even be pro-Palestine in Israel, but are very much Netanyahu. So for you to come up in here and say, oh, their government is perfect and we love them, like, please support them, is not even the truth for the people who live there. Secondly, this whole conversation of bringing Western values to civilized people comes from many different West empires, specifically the British Empire. If you've seen that video of Queen Elizabeth telling people in Africa that she's come to humanize those that live there, you know what I'm talking about. They're basically trying to show that people that have their own cultures, a different way of life, a different set of values and traditions, because they're not Western, they're horrible and we need to break them down. And they don't do this out of the goodness of their heart. They do this to make them more wanting to aspire to live this Western ideal. And so they allow America, the UK, other Western countries to resources. Well, at least the government does. Because you're given this sense of, oh, is better. America is better. The UK is better. The West is better. We have to give them our resources and they're going to give us their money, their strong currency, and make us better. When in reality, it causes this cycle of oppression and systemic oppression that is really hard to come out of. So no, this has nothing to do with these hypothetical progressive values that Chelsea Handler is saying that Israel has. It just has everything to do with the West will everything.
One of the worst parts about this video is how light they are trying to make the situation. You cannot both sides. It's very on brand for these type of people to try to position themselves as being emotionally superior. Just because we are angry does not mean that we are irrational about this situation. In fact, supporting both sides after seeing just how atrocious the things are that's happening right now makes you an op. You are not to be trusted.
Now, those were some of the most trending reactions that people immediately took to social media to air out their views. And as you got to hear for yourselves, those are very emotional and strong opinions that people had. And here is where I get to break it down so that I can shed more light in case you missed anything. Think of this as a sort of recap or a pretty interesting review. Now that we got that out of the way, let's dive in. We have an interesting and thought-provoking discussion ahead, covering a range of topics, from the effects of misinformation to the personal struggles faced by prominent figures like Chelsea Handler. Effects of misinformation. Misinformation has become a pervasive issue in today's society, with repercussions that can be both widespread and damaging. We recently witnessed a controversial video featuring Chelsea Handler and Tishby discussing the Israel-Palestine conflict, and it's crucial to address the potential misinformation spread in such situations. Misinformation not only distorts public perception, but can also contribute to societal division. Some individuals might intentionally spread misinformation for various reasons, such as political agendas, personal biases, or influence from powerful figures. It is essential for us as consumers of information to critically evaluate sources and promote fact-checking to combat the harmful effects of misinformation. Effects of divorce on Chelsea Handler. Shifting gears, let us discuss Chelsea Handler and the effects of her divorce. Divorce is a life-altering experience that can take substantial emotional toll. Chelsea, being a prominent personality, may have faced unique challenges. The emotional pain and financial strain and social stigma associated with divorce can significantly impact an individual. Adjusting to a new life structure, especially for someone in the public eye like Chelsea, can be overwhelming. The societal bias against divorcees may lead to the feelings of isolation and judgment. It is important to consider how such personal experiences may influence one's perspectives and actions, especially in the public domain. Impact of Israel-Palestine conflict on Palestinians. Shifting our focus to the Israel-Palestine conflict, the impact on the Palestinian people has been profound. Many have experienced loss, displacement, and complete upheaval of their way of life. The effects of the conflict may have lasting implications, making it challenging for Palestinians to return to their old ways of life. We must emphasize, with the struggles faced by the Palestinian population, understanding the long-lasting consequences of war on communities. The war not only affects physical infrastructure, but also takes a toll on the mental and emotional well-being of the people involved. Potential fallout of Palestine falling. Looking at the potential fallout if Palestine were to fall, the loss of identity as a people is a significant concern. Similar situations in places like the Congo and Sudan have shown us the profound effects of political upheaval on nations' identity. Displacement, loss of cultural heritage, and ongoing conflicts can create a ripple effect impacting global stability. Understanding these potential consequences highlights the importance of global awareness and intervention to prevent the further deterioration of regions experiencing political turmoil. Influence of money on spreading misinformation. Let us explore the influence of money on spreading misinformation. Wealth and power can indeed sway opinions, and individuals like Chelsea Handler may find themselves in positions where they are influenced by powerful figures. It is crucial for celebrities and influencers to remain vigilant, ensuring their platforms are not used to perpetuate misinformation that could harm society. Respecting diverse perspectives. Let us address the importance of not imposing one's values on others. In our interconnected world, diversity of thought, culture, and values is what makes us unique. Attempting to force one's beliefs onto others can lead to division, resentment, and the stifling of individual freedoms. Respecting diverse perspectives fosters an environment where different ideas can coexist, promoting dialogue and understanding. It is crucial to acknowledge that each person's journey is unique, shaped by their experiences, culture, and beliefs. Rather than imposing values, let's strive for open conversations that allow for exchange of ideas and the celebration of our shared humanity. Remember, embracing diversity enriches our collective experience and helps build bridges instead of walls. Today's discussion has been a journey through various impactful topics. We began by delving into the persuasive issue of misinformation, emphasizing the need for critical thinking and fact-checking in an era where spreading false narratives has become all too common. Transitioning to a more personal note, we explore the effects of divorce on someone as influential as Chelsea Handler, the emotional toll, financial strain, and societal stigma associated with this shed light on the challenges faced by individuals navigating such life-altering experiences. Our lens then shifted to the Israel-Palestine conflict, acknowledging the profound impact of the Palestinian people, from loss and displacement to the upheaval of their way of life. The consequences of war extend far beyond physical borders, affecting the mental and emotional well-being of entire communities. Contemplating the potential fallout if Palestine were to fall, we consider the loss of identity and the ripple effects on global stability, drawing parallels with similar situations in regions like the Congo and Sudan. Lastly, we explore the influence of money on spreading misinformation, particularly how powerful figures might shape narratives. As consumers of information, it is vital to scrutinize sources and hold influential voices accountable to prevent the dissemination of harmful falsehoods. Concluding our discussion, we stress the importance of respecting diverse perspectives and not imposing values on others. Embracing diversity fosters an environment where open conversations thrive, enriching our collective experience and promoting understanding. Thank you for joining us on this journey through these thought-provoking topics. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more engaging discussions. Stay informed, stay curious. Until next time, take care.